Hey lad rats, this is Tom Lando and welcome to Full Metal Racket, Plague Demon Records, Volume 3. So I'm so excited to bring you 3 new albums from Plague Demon Records. So our first band tonight is Cult of Odium, with the 2020 release of the album Beheading the Sheep. This 3-piece Black Wolf militia hail from Los Angeles. They're signed to Plague Demon Records and Blasphemous Creations of Hell. So this is a part of a co-release that they've both done. So as you can hear with the music playing, the vocalist Lord of Terror, he gives us screams of torment. This EP, you can hear the dark black metal sound, which I think they're bringing back, which is quite prevalent now in the new sort of US sort of black metal scene. You've got fast guitars, heavy drums. There's nothing really that these guys can really do with an album so short. I mean, you know, it's just under 21 minutes, so they're not really sort of messing about with this album. So now we'll take a look at the artwork. Obviously the album is called Beheading the Sheep, so on here we have a big wolf holding a banner, and we have the old black metal face paints and everything, and then on the back we have the beheaded sheep. Now this would be part of that large circle of cultural sort of black metal, filling the undergrowth sound, you know, with sort of the dissonant black death and hallucinated reflections. So my standout track, the track that you're listening to, is off the EP, is track 4, and it's titled The Unsaved. So this is Cult of Odium, so please remember to check them out on Bandcamp, YouTube and all social media sites. So my second instalment is from the band Alvarez. This new album is the second instalment called Digitaria. If you're not aware of these, they released their first release through Plague Demon Records called Haddad. Now Haddad has a lot of similarities to Rammstein. This album is a lot different. Digitaria starts really with more of a technical metal sort of Fear Factory sound. It takes me back to sort of, you know, the melodic sound of the 90s. I mean, some of the tracks have a very sort of Sepultura sound as well, which really drew me into this track. The first track, you know, was amazing, and it just led me on to all the other tracks as well. The production in here is so much better. I can see that the guys have really worked on this album. It's just, even the artwork looks so much better now. It's more sort of detailed in every single way. You've got your Plague Demon record logo here, and it's just 11 tracks of just pure darkened black heavy metal, really. As I said, if you go onto the Plague Demon record volume 2 and check out their first instalment of Haddad, you'll see that there's a lot of differences in both of the albums. I'd just like to discuss the artwork with you. It's done by artist Keith Simpson, who also does all the artwork for Plague Demon Records. So Alvarez we have on the vocals, Jacob we have on guitars, and Zdenek we have on the drums. So we have some obviously early sort of similarities as well to Paradise Lost at the later tracks, and some Time Out as well, but they really are a one of a kind band. You're not going to get anyone that sounds like Alvarez. So my standout track is the track that you're going to be listening to now, and that's called Digitaria. Please make sure you check out Alvarez on all social media platforms, YouTube, Bandcamp, and check them out on Facebook as well. So that takes us to our third band, Serpent of Old. Now this is guested by George Loveland from the black metal band Severion. they've just released their new album, The Separation, and George has worked on the Serpent of Old album. This is called Miskatonic Abysmal Path. So these guys, they're a three-piece. They also hail from Philadelphia, where George resides from. So after releasing, obviously, this debut, these guys went into a bit of a hiatus for a long time. And then they come out with a EP called Poison Pure Suicide in 2011. So that was the first EP that they released. And then they come out with their full-length debut album, Withering Hope, in 2012. And then they proceeded to vanish off of the music scene for quite a long time. And then they came back in 2018 with only a 2-track sort of cryptic offering. Serpent of Old have now finally released what I believe to be one of the best black metal albums of the year so far. You can see by the artwork, for any of you that are watching that are into Machine Head, this looks very similar to the old Machine Head sort of style artwork. You've got the girl in the ropes with the flames around her. I absolutely love it. What you can expect from this album, well, it's just pure blackened death metal. That's what it is. It's completely different. It's a lot different from George's previous work with Deceiver on. This is fast, drums are loud, and it's just the general style shown on it. It's more of a solid method of composition, leaning more to sort of, I don't know, I'd say more of a persuasion of a black and death heavy. But that's just obviously my opinion in this. And you might listen and you might have a little bit of more of a different opinion. I think the interesting side of it for me is the kinetic blasting and more dramatization in this album, from obviously any of the previous albums that I've heard of Serpent of Old. I mean, admittedly, there is a few places in the album that it does sound a bit mellow-deathy, and that's why it's completely different. And I'm quite shocked that from a black metal band like Deceiver, George can have so much different sound and be involved in a different album. But the level of the composition on this album, it serves such a great balance. So the standout track for me that you're listening to today is track 6, and the track is called Swift Judgment. So make sure you check out Miskatonic Abysmal Path from Serpent of Old on Bandcamp, YouTube and Facebook. So once again, thank you very much for Plague Demon Records for all their support and sending all these amazing albums for me to review. So please check our back catalogue on Full Metal Racket, that's volumes 1, 2. And so for all your news, reviews and interviews, join us at the Metal Lab, the home of underground metal.